Okay, hello everyone. This is me, Josh, and welcome to our eighth episode of creating your end-to-end crypto forecaster. In this episode, ang goal natin is to create our data pipeline. Although baka di natin siya matapos, pero we will start from um, writing our primary scripts muna. Okay? So, in an ETL pipeline, usually or as the name implies, meron siyang tatlong parts. So we have the extraction of data, we have transformation of data, and we have loading of data. All right. So we will be doing that in the next episodes. So now let's look at what Docker's to. Sorry. So Docker, yes, para makita natin if we still have our um, services running. As we can see, hindi siya tumatakbo right now. So we will run Docker compose up hyphen d. Okay, so this way, mapapatakbo natin yung mga kailangan nating services. In this episode naman, kailangan lang naman natin si Postgre. Alright? So, there you go. Yan. Alright. And then, gagawa tayo ng mga folders. Alright? So, we will create SRC folder. Tapos, gagawa tayo ng SRC um, scraper. Yan. Sige, kahit yan na lang muna. Alright? And then afterwards, magsi-CD tayo dun sa SRC scraper natin. Okay? And after natin mag-create yung directory na kakailangan natin, okay, so we have SRC scraper, gagawa ngayon tayo ng virtual environment in Python. So Python mvn environment. Okay? So this way, we can guarantee na makakapag um, so yung mga kailangan natin na packages, i-enclose natin siya sa virtual environment na to. Alright? So, let's see. I-activate ngayon natin yung virtual environment. Okay. So, we are using the PS1 since we are now on PowerShell. Tapos, i-install natin yung mga kailangan natin. So, in this scenario, or in this project, we need requests para makapag-send tayo ng HTTP request doon sa API. Pakinggan ko ng konti para to. Ayan. Kailangan ko rin ng pandas, syempre, para makapag-process tayo ng data. And then, kailangan din natin ng SQL Alchemy. So, this will be our tool to connect to our Postgre database. And kailangan din natin si PsychoPG2. Alright? So, ito yung parang connector talaga natin sa Postgre. Ito naman yung parang um, ORM natin na gagamitin to connect to that database. Alright? Although pwede natin gamitin si PsychoPG lang naman. Pero I really want to use SQL Alchemy kasi it kinda generalizes yung ano natin, yung parang tool natin to connect to different databases. Alright? So let's install those things. So while we're waiting, gawa tayo ng requirements.txt file natin. Okay. Tapos, ilalagay natin dito yung mga in-install nating packages. So, ganyan, request. We also have pandas, SQL Alchemy, and then PsychoPG2. Of course, hindi ganito yung format niya. So, ganyan natin siya. Alright, ito naman. ito ay ito naman type pg2 there installed. Okay, so there. So okay na siya. So kaya tayo mayroong requirements sa text file para next time na may magpatakbo nito, ito yung exact version na magagamit nila. Okay? And right now, as you can see, marami na nakukuha yung source control natin ng files. So let's go to our git ignore file and add um, environment files. So star, ayan. Okay? Sa scraper ko, dapat hindi na siya masasama. Okay. Pero mukhang nasasama pa rin siya. So refresh nga natin. Alright, so I think it's not the... Ginanin ko kaya siya. Yan. Dapat di gumagana yun. Dapat gumagana to ah. Anyway, or ganyan. Ah, okay. Never. Okay. Sige, tanggalin ko na lang yan. Alright. There we go. So, dapat hindi na siya masasama. Okay, 7 files na lang siya. Which is... Yan. So, ba't kasama sa screenlet? Okay, double check natin. Pero dapat wala naman siya dyan. Okay, cool. Alright. Kaya, bilang siya ng kaunti. And there you go. Okay, so what's next? Okay, so let's now, or I want to also install IPyKernel. So for now, gagawa muna tayo ng notebook just to further explore our our code. Okay, tapos tanggalin natin siya sa ating files na ipopush sa ating repository. Okay, cool. And after natin siyang ma-install, mag-switch tayo doon sa folder na yon. Okay? So, pupunta tayo sa... Ay, shucks, sorry. Mali. App, tapos src scraper. Yan. Okay? So, gagawa lang tayo ng test.ipynb. Tapos, gagawa rin tayo ng .envfile kasi dito natin ilalagay yung ating CoinGecko API. Alright? So, remember from the last episode, meron tayong ganyan. Not last episode, pero the past episodes that we've had. So, okay, cool. Alright. So, ngayon, magko-code na tayo. Okay, so select kernel tayo. Ayan. Let's open our code and let's import requests. Import pandas as PD. And I think that's it for now. Okay, so ano yung mga functions na kakailanganin natin? Alright? Or routines na gagawin natin. So we just need two main functions talaga. So the first function, alright? So the function that pulls coins list from CoinGecko. Alright? And the second function naman is the function that scrapes daily 5-minute or coin prices or crypto prices in 5-minute increment. Yan. All right. Cool. So how do we go about that? So ngayon, let's open our API documentation and hanapin natin dito yung coins list. Ayan. So this is just using a very simple API command. Actually, pwede natin siyang convert to Python para we can just simply copy this. Alright? So sige, copy natin siya. Okay, and then add lang ako dito ng base URL para dito. Actually, I just need this. Yan. And then we also need, yan, endpoint naman will be this. Okay, cool. So we still have our default headers, and then our URL would be base URL plus endpoint. There you go. Or maybe let's do it like this. Ayan. Alright. So our response will be like that. Pero let's also add our header right here, which is our API key. Okay, so lagay natin siya dito and kanina dapat yung magiging itsura niya. Alright. So there. How do we go about loading our API key from the environment file? So I forgot to install something else. So env script activate pip install python.env. So this .env package from .env import load env. It loads the .environment file from our directory. Alright? So yun lang yung pinaka use case niya. So i-run ko lang siya ng ganyan. There, magka-true na siya. And I also need to import from OS, import get env naman. So this way, I can load the environment variables from the .env files as well. All right. So i-load natin siya from here. So let's call this CoinGecko API key. Ayan. And then here, sa ating request headers, meron tayo ditong ganito. Alright, and CoinGecko API key. Okay, so this is now how we will construct our first function. So very simple, right? So kapag print ko lang siya, okay, nagkaroon tayong error, base URL, my bad, I haven't run this yet. And kapag mo ngayon natin to, there you go. So as we can see, nakuha na natin yung response na expect natin. And that's what we are actually expecting, right? So ito yung mukhang mata. Ajib. Not sure with that. But yeah. Alright, cool. So let's try converting that to a pandas data frame. So df pd.rootDataFrame.json. Okay, and if we look at the first 5 rows, ito yung makukuha natin. So that's how we can scrape the coins list from CoinGecko using pandas and requests. Alright, so very simple. So we just created our endpoint, pati yung mga headers natin for the HTTP request, and just use the get command from the requests module at convert lang natin yung result into pandas data frame. So very simple, right? So now we will do the same thing for the next function na gagamitin natin. And that function is for us to scrape crypto prices now. And what we want is to get the 5-minute increment. So here under the same coins, I guess, um, historical chart, coins. Yeah, I think this is the one. Okay, this is the one. Yeah. All right. So we need to get a historical chart by data by ID. So ang response natin dito ay prices, market caps, and total volumes. All right. So there. Okay, cool. So ngayon, how do we go about that? So very simple lang din. So we just copy this muna and then we paste it here. So similarly, endpoint na lang yung ilalabas ko. Um, URL, ayan. Tapos yung header natin would still be the same, but here I'll use this instead. Okay. And then URL would be base URL plus the endpoint. Then request lang ulit. And i-convert natin yung response to data frame. So just for us to make it more distinguished, or to distinguish yung mga responses natin, or should call this coins list. Tapos ito naman ay crypto price. There. Okay. So hindi pa tayo tapos because here's the endpoint. We have an ID here. And sa ID, it should be the um, coin ID, which is referencing from the DF coins list na meron tayo. So what is the coin ID of for Bitcoin? Or maybe let's just use na lang Ethereum. So name Ethereum. Oops, sorry, mali pala siya. Ganito dapat siya. Um, Ether. Okay. ID, I think it should be Ethereum. ETH symbol niya. My bad. Tama. ETH yung symbol, tapos yung ID is Ethereum. Okay, cool. So, sige. Ngayon, lagay natin din yung coin ID. So, we want to parameterize these options because later on, gagawin natin siyang function. At para mas madali din yung pag-adjust natin dun sa parameters. Alright? And then here, sa endpoint natin, it should be like this. Coin ID na siya. This way, automatic din nag-update itong ating endpoint, right? So we're not done yet because meron pa tayong ibang mga parameters dito. Okay? So these are the query parameters that we can pass. So how do we go about that? So we can add the params. Alright? So we have the number of days. Okay, cool. Meron tayong available option dito. So VS currency required US dollars. Gawin natin siyang PHP siguro. Hindi, US dollars na para alam ng lahat. Days is 1 and interval is we have some options here daily. Pero as what we can read from this documentation, by default, kapag 1 day lang tayo, 5-minute out daily 5-minute data na kinukuha natin. So I can get rid of this already. Alright? So there. So these are the parameters that we will use. Okay, ngayon, I think this is all that I need to do. Alright, so let's add the params here. And that should do it. Okay, so medyo magulo pa yung script natin, but don't you worry because later on we will fix that. So ngayon, if we use df coinslist.head, that's still the same. But if I run df cryptoprice.head, ayan na siya. Okay, so I think I did a wrong move here because as we can see, yung prices natin, market caps and total volumes, it's not in good shape. If we look at the response dito, it's so the response is an object of it's an object of arrays. Yan. So meron tayong key here for the prices. Tapos array of arrays siya or list of lists siya, if you will, in Python. So yung bawat entry natin dito is one record. Tapos ito ay timestamp. Tapos ito naman ay yung price na na-collect natin during that time. Alright? So what we want to do is to reshape this so that we can um, para ma-combine natin siya into a single data frame. Okay? So that's gonna be the the processing step that we need to do. So to do that, we can do it in partition. So una muna ay kunin natin yung data. So crypto or response or data na lang. Okay, ganyan. Without even changing the or without even converting that data frame. Okay, so then we get the prices, then we also get the market caps. Ayan, market caps, data. Tapos we also have total volumes. Total volumes there. So ngayon, if we run that, prices would look like that, right? So that's cool. That's what we are expecting. So now, if we convert these naman into data frames, so it should be straightforward. So, oops, sorry. So ganyan, lagyan mo lang siya ng df sa unahan. So pd.dataframe there, and timestamp would be pwedeng ganyan, but let's call these market cap. So ay total volume na lang there. So that's how we go about that. And lastly is we will merge them into a single data frame. Kasi dun sa data model natin or sa table natin sa Postgre, it actually uses, or we are just using a single table. Ayan. So all of the prices, the market caps, the total volume are all in a single table. Okay, so ito yung i-replicate natin na format. Alright? So ngayon, gagawin natin here is we can merge them. df coin data market or market chart na lang. Sige, market chart is equal to df prices.merge. Yan. I-merge natin siya with df market caps and df total volumes on timestamp column. Alright? And then inner join lang gagawin natin. This way, we can just get rid of those that do not match in each table. Ayan. Or data frame. So kapag pinatakbo natin siya, ito na yung magiging result niya. Okay, cool. Although, tama naman dapat meron pa rin siyang pair sa lahat ng tables. So, I'm not that worried naman. So the next thing that we will need to do is to change the timestamp. All right. So how do we go about changing the timestamp? So meron tayong recommendation dito. So subukan natin siya. Kapag ni-run ko siya dito, ayan. So it went well. Okay. So how do we read the data that we have collected now? So from April 16, 5 p.m., ito yung price niya, ito yung market caps niya, and total volume. And plus 5 minutes, plus 5 minutes, plus 5 minutes. So roughly 5 minutes naman siya. So there. So each value naman or each timestamp should correspond to a single price, to a single market cap, and total volume. So there, that's how we go about collecting these prices from CoinGecko. So that looks good. And the next thing that we just need to do is just convert this into a working function. All right? Sige. Let's do that now. So right now, I'm still on my Jupyter Notebook. So later on, gagawin natin siyang script. Don't you worry, guys. Um, okay, so ngayon, let's call def get market um, or sorry, get coins list rather. Coins list. Okay, so gagawin natin siya gagawin natin siyang ETL like na functions. So probably let's call this extract coins list. Okay. So sa extract coins list, we don't really have um, a parameter here, right? So ito lang din naman yung gagawin natin. So same, walang parameter, but we just need the API key. So here, this should do it. Okay. So endpoint, we have the URL, the base URL. Tapos, yung ating API key, tapos there. All right, cool. Then the next function will be def extract coin market chart. Ayan. So market chart naman tayo. Okay, so sige, let's copy everything. Tapos i-copy, i-paste na natin sa baba. Okay. Then later on, let's refactor. So, mahalaga gumagana yung script natin. Alright. Saka natin gawin yung refactoring since gumagana naman yung script natin. Alright, cool. So, dito sa coin ID, we have that string. And I also want to add a BS currency as parameter. Pero it's gonna be default. Or we will have a default value there. Alright. Tapos, yeah, I just want to make it simple lang para I don't have to complicate it. Okay. Let's lagay din tayo ng ano. Ayan. Oy, nice one. Diba, mas kompleto na yung definition natin. So for parameters, and then this is our headers. Alright, cool. So we get the response, we get the prices and other data elements here, and there you go. So yeah, nabuo na natin yung mga functions na gagamitin natin. Alright, sorry, forgot na dapat i-return natin siya. So return DF market chart. So that should do it. Actually, this is not just extraction. So meron yung may content time processing. Ayan. So nag-reshape na tayo dito. So if we are to refactor this, we can further simplify this function. Probably we can just use or we can just simply return the JSON, the data itself na lang, right? Same goes here. Para yung conversion into data frame will be handled by our transform module. So there. Um, yeah, let's do that later on. Okay. Sige, i-refactor na natin siya. Or the other option is possibly we can um, add a parameter dito like as frame, a boolean a boolean value para pwede natin siyang i-return as a dictionary or a data frame. This way, if naka-specify natin to or kapag ka naka-true tayo sa as underscore frame, so what will happen is pwede natin siyang i-return as a data frame like this. So return data frame. Otherwise, we will just return the JSON response. All right. So here, kay extract market chart, dahil medyo complex yung shape ng response natin, that it's an array or it's an object of lists. Okay? So, hindi natin siya pwedeng gawin ganito. Alright? So, what we can do here is we just simply return the response itself. So, dictionary. And then, ito lang ibabata natin. So, return there. Alright? So let's define another function called transform market chart. Ayan. So dito naman, ipapasa natin yung data natin as a parameter, and also we need the coin ID right here. And the same function will be like that. All right. So there. Much more tidy. Okay. So mas magiging tidy pa siya later on, hopefully. So I think this looks okay. So there. So right now we already have three functions. So extract coins list. So this function extracts all lists or all coins available kay CoinGecko. And we have the option to convert that to data frame if needed. Ayan. Kasi straightforward naman yung format niya. So it's easy to format that or convert that into data frame naman. Then we have the extract market chart. So this returns the response na yung mga market chart data natin. So that's the prices, um, including the market caps and total volumes. Ayun. And then the next function is yung transform market chart natin, which is merging or reshaping naman yung response natin from this function para maging isang data frame lang siya. And actually, there's one more missing here na step. So, market chart, coin ID. Ayan. Alright, cool. Okay, and yeah, I think this looks good. Alright, so yeah, this looks fine. So now, if you want to load these to a database, right? So meron tayong tinatawag na load df ano ba? df to db to db. Ayan. Alright. So we have the df as actually sama natin yan. Ayan. So we have the data frame as our first parameter, the table name as second parameter. We can also specify the table schema as third parameter. just to be more explicit. And lastly will be the engine. All right. So for the engine, we will use SQL Alchemy. So from SQL Alchemy, import create engine, and then the engine itself. This way, we can also pass that here. Engine, ayan. Tapos wala tayong i-return dyan. Alright, so now we have two SQL na command, table name, tapos engine. Okay, if the table already exists, then we just append it. Alright. Of course, we don't want index. Tapos schema will be our table schema. There. As simple as that. Alright. So, wala pa tayong mga error handlers sa mga functions natin. And that's actually important para hindi mag-fail yung functions natin. Um, but we can also further do that later on na lang. But what our initial step here, or our initial way of extracting data and loading data, is to simply just get data from the coins list, yung market chart, tapos we transform market chart into something like this para maging isang dataset na lang siya. And there's one more thing pala. Every time that we are inserting or diba dito sa function natin, we are just appending um, our table with new data. So how do we ensure na wala tayong duplicate records na pinapasok? So there has to be a mechanism to check this table na dapat wala na siyang, or na dapat ang mailaload na natin is yung latest data for that particular coin. Alright? So how do we go about that? So one option that I can think of is we can create a function that deletes records from this table, alright, based on coin ID tsaka timestamp. So kung anong timestamp man yung available dun sa um, so kung anong timestamp man ang available sa pinaka-latest date dito. Like for example, if we have already pulled the current data, so yung last na timestamp doon ay as long as hindi siya available dun sa list na meron na tayo. So ilo-load natin siya. Alright, so that's one approach. So the other approaches could be like a staging table na pwede nating paglagyan ng data nito at mag-i-insert na lang tayo dito after malinis yung sa staging table natin. So we just simply select the duplicate um, or just the distinct values from that staging table. So it might lead us to creating an additional table here, but the process might be simpler, I would say, kasi wala tayong masyadong heavy lifting on our Python pipeline. So those are the things that we will further discuss sa next episode natin. But in this episode, we just started designing our approach on creating our data pipeline. So right now, meron na tayong functions for the extract part. Kaya natin makahugot ng data from CoinGecko, and kaya na natin kuha ng data. Kaya natin siya matransform yung market chart natin into a single data frame, at kaya natin siyang ma-load dito sa from our data frame to the database. So in the next episode, we will refine this and convert this notebook into a package, at identify na natin yung ating connection string papunta sa database natin. So I hope that you learned our approach in this episode, and see you in the next one.